Hello friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're all doing well. I really do hope that you probably are, because Chelsea are seemingly the best team in world football at the moment. Incredible defensively, offensively, the way they control possession, the way they have sensational goals, mate. Chelsea are excellent. Anyway, welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series right here on Football Therapy, where I see what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion, more importantly, asking for yours. Many things to talk about today. We're going to speculate on Kante and Chilwell's injury, but we're going to talk about Thiago Silva's contract extension, the truth about Mason Mount and his current standings at Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich's current connection to Thomas Tuchel and what he wants to know. We'll do updates all on these things. So much to get into, so make sure you stay to the end and get comfortable, dear sweet viewer. I'll urge you all to drop a like to show your support here on Football Therapy, and you're all welcome to subscribe, of course, all fans, not just Chelsea fans. If you do choose to sub, make sure you hit that all important bell notifications icon, because you need to keep updated, friends. You hit the bell, you hit all notifications on, and we move, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start off the video talking about perhaps a negative elements, and that is of course N'golo Kante and Ben Chilwell, both coming off injured in what was a sensational performance against Juventus. The European giant completely dismantled at the hands of Thomas Tuchel's academy-driven core Chelsea. Could have been more. Of course, N'golo Kante was substituted in the first half. Ruben Loftus-Cheek came on to replace him late on in the first half, or certainly the majority had passed. Kante walked off quite comfortably. He had twisted his knee and he thought, not sure about this. And the fact how Chelsea were ahead, and it's N'golo Kante who needs to be managed, Chelsea took him off, hopefully mainly as a precautionary measure. Bearing in mind, Kante, I would assume, has been talked to by the Chelsea medical staff at this point of his career, considering how important he is. They've probably said to him, look mate, if you feel anything, you tell us and we're taking you off, because he's missed too much football for Chelsea in recent years. So they've probably said, look, if you get anything, don't play on. Tell us. Don't play on, and we're going to make sure you take you off. So it's probably his additional responsibility to not try and be brave and play through the pain, because we saw that in the Europa League final against Arsenal, which of course was a magnificent occasion, beating them 4-1. But it was certainly detrimental to N'Golo Kante, who played for an injury, and indeed after Sarri's reign it kept him out for a long time under Lampard, and of course since Tuchel's had to manage him. Slightly more worrying with Ben Chilwell, who people were thinking, oh, this could be his ACL. He was almost pretty much carried off the pitch. Some people apparently saw him getting into his car without any crutches or anything, so that's hugely important. Regardless, you have to think Ben Chilwell is going to be out for a little bit. Even if we get some positive news that perhaps the timeout isn't as long as originally feared, speculated, assumed. What does that leave us? Marcos Alonso. Let's talk about this a little bit. Alonso, of course, started the season well, in great form, but he does drop off and you're like, oh yeah, this is the truth. Yeah, you can score goals and have a nice time, but this is what we're dealing with. And as a complete wing-back, Reece James is at the top of the world at the moment, but Ben Chilwell isn't far behind him. Superb. He gets back, he defends, he's always popping up in the box, and he's got a great engine to get up and down, and he can drive into central areas really, really well all over the pitch. Superb. Absolutely amazing. Should be England's starting left back, probably over Luke Shaw now, who, by the way, was great. But Marcos Alonso, interestingly in this game against Juventus, Marcos Alonso took his jumper off ready to get on, but he didn't come on. Cesar Azpilicueta came on at left wing back. Now, Thomas Tuchel was asked about this. He was posed this question like, what happened there, mate? Why didn't you bring Alonso on, like for like? To which he kind of like laughed, like, oh yeah, it was a mistake. He said, Azpi, we always generally like to have him on the pitch, and we were already getting him ready to come on at right wing back, but then Chilwell got injured. I don't know why. I don't know if this is true, because why would you have taken Reece James off in that form anyway? Maybe to protect him, because he's so good. And of course Chilwell came off and went, okay, he's already ready, put him on the left. And he ended up going to play left wing back. Now, actually, when he came on, a lot of people who, rightly or wrongly, probably more rightly, have fears about Alonso at the moment, we were like, oh, okay, it's Azpi. Azpi's going there. And although, you know, Azpi left wing back isn't the ideal situation in terms of how much you want to get out of your wing backs, we all felt safer, didn't we? We all felt safer. And maybe not because that situation then, but also moving forwards. Like, maybe he can play left wing back. I was joking about Hudson-Odoi playing left wing back because he plays left wing, and obviously he's played right wing back. Mix them together, left wing back. Pulisic, I think, played there. But it was interesting. Maybe he'll consider him moving forwards, because Marcos Alonso against now perhaps entering form Jadon Sancho, that matchup doesn't entice me and excite me too much for Chelsea's next game, especially out of form, well, out of game time, Marcos Alonso, so perhaps he's rusty. He's got a turning circle of a boat at the best of the times. Having not played for a while, do you want Jadon Sancho roasting him, like now in confidence Jadon Sancho? I don't want that. Who knows? Touch wood. We pray Ben Chilwell will return sooner rather than later. Hopefully we'll get official updates soon. And if Marcos Alonso has to come in, we just hope that he plays well. Right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next part of the video. Obviously, Mason Mount, I reacted to these stories. There are many stories from overseas about him being unhappy and willing to potentially consider his future elsewhere. I saw headlines, excuse me, since saying that Liverpool, or he's considering Liverpool, and Man City and Real Madrid want him, which, by the way, I think both Man City and Real Madrid probably would want him. Man City, Pep Guardiola would love a Mason Mount type of player as a number 8 in his 4-3-3, a high-pressing, intelligent, systemically intelligent footballer that's young and energetic. That's exactly a Guardiola player. And he's got a goal in him every now and again. I think he'd be perfect for one of his number 8s. And so, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Man City wanted him. And maybe Real Madrid, they know he's been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. They saw him scoring against them in the Champions League semi-final. They'll know all about Mason Mount. Anyway, these stories are probably ridiculous, so I don't know why I'm digressing and speculating about that. Matt Law wrote a piece speaking about, no, actually he's very happy, shock, horror, with his standing with Tuchel. I'll read you a quote here. Mount enjoys a good relationship with head coach Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea directors, and contrary to reports from overseas, is not unhappy with his standing or situation within the squad. That's, of course, from Matt Law on The Telegraph. And there is further information about him, just focusing on playing and winning trophies. He's, the contract situation will get sorted out. No rush. He feels good. It's a nonsense story. So we could all feel pretty positive and happy with the situation of Mason Mount to contribute to what is an amazing academy story at Chelsea at the moment. With, let's try and reel through some quickly. Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Andreas Christensen, and that is just 5 players that feature regularly in Chelsea's starting 11. Of course, we've had success stories like Tomori, Tammy Abraham be sold, Gurhi, Livramento, it goes on. We've got the likes of loads of really high-performing loanees, of course, in the Premier League. 2 high-profile ones are Billy Gilmore and Conor Gallagher to return. The Chelsea Academy, I'm not going to go on about this because everyone knows Cobham's been absolutely incredible and just demonstrated that yet again with 4 goal involvements from 4 Academy players in last night's high-profile Champions League game against European giant Juventus, who lost 4-0, had to get it in there again. So I also want to talk about Roman Abramovich, who of course is back in the media. There was another article published about him today about his lawsuit against publishers about, defamation, about speaking to him in relation to Putin and stuff. He's winning a lot of cases. He's made loads of publications do public apologies. He's making moves, basically, Roman Abramovich. I don't want to talk about that, though. I want to talk about his reintegration and re-involvement more and more with Chelsea. Not to suggest, actually, he's ever been disconnected, because there's always been indications and implications of him having a great love and passion for Chelsea still. Of course, using Chelsea as the face of his positive anti-discrimination campaigns, and obviously still investing a great deal of money in Chelsea Football Club. And of course, he was at Stamford Bridge only a few days ago as well, to do with charity work. Whether that's he was there, allowed to be there because it's charity work other than work, because I'm still not fully up to date with the visa situation, because had it been work, he technically wouldn't have been allowed to do that. So that would be interesting to see, and I will certainly research that. And if there are updates on Abramovich's visa situation, I'll keep you guys posted, so make sure you are sub to this channel, and you've got, again, that bell notifications icon turned on, because you guys can be the first to keep it locked with this information. But I want to read you some quotes from Thomas Tuchel after the Juventus game last night. This is from football.london. I'll read you an extract first. Roman Abramovich wasn't at Stamford Bridge to watch Chelsea dismantle Juventus. A previous commitment to a charity he supports is the reason why. But make no mistake, the Russian will have known exactly what's taken place in West London. He remains the most passionate of owners. Now, this is a quote from Thomas Tuchel. He is in love with the game. He is in love with the details. He wants to know everything about it, Thomas Tuchel explained. He wants to know what's going on here in Cobham, and kept informed. We keep him posted because he's such a genuine interest and love for the game. This is most important, makes things very special. I have the feeling he wants to be entertained, he wants to be competitive, and he wants to have the right attitude on the pitch. All, of course, which have been created at Chelsea. He wants to win. He wants to cultivate a winning mentality at Chelsea, which, of course, Roman Abramovich has done ever since touching down in England. Huge thing for the Chelsea owner, Roman Abramovich, is the academy. Over the years, he's endured great frustration wanting these academy players to be integrated into the Chelsea first team. I guess, like, you know, he's got the romantic football perspective of, like, you know, perhaps like Barcelona, La Masia times, you know, the great Barcelona teams of the academy, and, you know, the Ajax, and even, you know, the Manchester United Busby Babes or Class of 92, or whatever it is, you know, all these stories. He wanted, it's like, right, I want to win like the good teams, and I want this romance and developmental scheme with the academy, which, by the way, I'm going to put an incredible amount of money in, which he did. It's pictures of Roman and Tammy and Loftus-Cheek and Solanke when they're small. He visited the academy. Like the women's team as well, he invests a lot of money and wants them to be the best. What a superb football club owner Roman Abramovich is. So he will be absolutely elated to see what Frank Lampard has started in terms of the integration of the academy players, and certainly what Thomas Tuchel has kept up with this integration of academy players and how they're performing at the highest level. And really, all his dreams are being realised. Chelsea winning multiple European Cups, Chelsea playing dominating yet attacking football despite what Mauricio Pochettino says. And they're doing it with Chelsea-bred boys. Absolutely magnificent story, and I feel good about it. There's so much stuff coming out about Chelsea at the moment. There's other stories I could have reacted to in today's video, which I haven't done, which I will do, and will continue to do every single day here on this channel, Football Therapy. So make sure you are locked in, guys, and if you want to show some support, drop a like, and I'd urge you always to comment down below your thoughts on the stuff that I've spoken about in the video, or indeed anything, all things Chelsea. Everyone's welcome. Thank you for subscribing and hanging out, and enjoy the football, and I will, of course, see you later.